Before we begin this special prayer, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and comment the name of someone who needs prayer today. When you engage, this message reaches more hearts that also need comfort and guidance. Now take a deep breath, open your heart, and let this word speak to you. A new day begins. The sky is just starting to be painted with light, but in many hearts, there's already a storm that gives no rest. It can't be heard, but it weighs heavily. Bodies wake up, but the soul remains curled up in the corner of pain. Some are breathing, yes, but they feel that each breath carries an invisible burden, as if the heart no longer has strength for one more day. It's the accumulated fatigue of so many battles, of long nights without answers, of disappointments that still beat silently. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to move forward when the soul is wounded? David, the man after God's own heart, felt that too. He didn't begin Psalm 61 with shouts of victory, but with a cry from the soul. Hear my cry, O God. Attend unto my prayer. From the end of the earth will I cry unto thee, when my heart is overwhelmed. This wasn't a king speaking from his throne. It was a son speaking from the ground. He acknowledged his limits, his need, and that, far from being weakness, is spiritual wisdom. This verse isn't just ancient poetry. It's a key for your morning. It's an invitation to pray without masks, to come to God without rehearsed speeches, to speak to Him from your truth, from your fragility, from the exact point where you can't go on alone. And when you do that, something begins to change. Maybe not outside of you, but inside. Because when you cry out from the heart, heaven responds. It always responds. If these words touched your heart, comment with faith, "Today I take refuge in you, Lord." There are moments when life feels like a slippery path. You keep walking, but each step seems more uncertain than the last. Not because you've lost faith, but because exhaustion has started to speak louder than hope. And right there, at that breaking point where everything trembles inside you, the prayer of Psalm 61 comes alive. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I. This is not just a pretty phrase. It's a deep plea. It's the humble recognition of someone who can no longer go on, but knows who can. It's not about escaping reality, but about asking for a new perspective. That rock is not a place on a map. That rock is Christ. It's the place where your feet are steadied when everything else collapses. When you ask to be led there, you're saying, "Lord, I don't have the strength to climb on my own. I can't scale this pain or conquer this fear with my own hands, but you can lift me." And He does. He lifts you, not so that you ignore what hurts, but so that you can see from His height what you can't understand from the ground. From that height, you see clearly. You understand that the storm is not the end, that pain does not have the final word, that your story is not defined by this trial. Because from that height, the Father's voice is louder than fear. And that high place is available today. You don't need merits, titles, or achievements, just a sincere heart that says, "Lead me," and He will. Lord, there are moments when it feels like my soul is fading little by little, not because of lack of faith, but because of the constant weight of the struggle. The day begins, but inside me shadows still linger. Yet when I remember your word, something within me lights up again. Because I am not alone, because you are near to those who cry out from the dry ground of the heart. David cried out from the abyss, from the edge of his own despair, but he didn't stay there. He said, "For you have been a shelter for me, a strong tower from the enemy." What a powerful declaration. It doesn't speak of a God who waits at the top, but of one who comes down into the valley to cover us with His shadow. And that shelter is not just an idea, it's a real experience. It's the certainty that even when everything around you shakes, there's a place in Him that remains firm, a tower where the arrows cannot reach, where the noise of the world is silenced, where the soul breathes and rests. And that place is you, Lord. Every time you've helped me when I thought I couldn't go on. Every time you've lifted me when I had no more words. every time you've loved me, even when I couldn't love myself. That's who you are. Refuge, shield, an ever-present presence that never leaves. And today, once again, I run to you, not to hide from the world, but to face life from within your embrace. Because with you, I can do all things. Because in you, even my tears have meaning. Write in the comments, "You are my refuge, my strong tower, my eternal shield," and share this prayer with someone who needs to remember that hope still exists. When the heart is tired, when inner strength seems exhausted, that's when your voice, Lord, resounds louder than ever. Not like a thunder that frightens, but like a whisper that comforts. It's in that stillness where I discover that your presence doesn't depend on my emotions, but on your constant faithfulness. David didn't just ask for refuge. He longed for something deeper, to dwell with you. He said, "I will abide in your tabernacle forever." He wasn't just looking for temporary protection. He desired eternal communion. He understood that the soul only finds rest when it remains with you. Not only when it seeks you in emergencies, but when it chooses you as its dwelling place. And I want that too, God. I don't want to be a visitor in your presence. I want to be a permanent resident. I don't want to run to you only when the storm hits, but live under your wings every day, each morning, in every decision, in every silence. To dwell with you is to open my eyes each day knowing I am not alone. It's to walk knowing I have direction. It's to live knowing I have purpose. Because when you are my home, I lack nothing. Because in your shadow, there is peace. There is direction. There is rest for my soul. And even if the world offers me 1,000 distractions, I choose to stay with you. Even if my flesh grows weary, my spirit longs for you. Even if I don't understand everything, I trust in you, because I've tasted your love, and nothing compares. If you long to live each day in God's presence, comment below, "Lord, make your presence my eternal dwelling," and share this message with someone who needs to find that refuge. Lord, this morning, I'm not seeking you like someone desperate for a quick fix. I seek you like someone who understands that outside of you there is no life, no meaning, no lasting peace. I don't want an occasional visit to your presence. I want to stay. To dwell with you is not a privilege for a few. It's the calling of all your children. And even when I feel unworthy, even when I fail, you don't turn me away. Your grace opens the door every time I return with a sincere heart. Living with you is possible because you chose to dwell in me. That's why even when the world pulls at me, even when sin tries to seduce me, I will choose to return to you again and again, because only under your wings do I find true rest. Many believe that to remain in your presence they must be perfect, but you don't seek perfection. You seek surrender. You don't ask me to come flawless. You ask me to come sincere. You don't need fancy words, only a heart that says, "Lord, here I am, tired, but yours." And in the midst of weariness, you lift me. In the silence, you speak. In the confusion, you bring direction. To dwell with you, God, is the best decision a soul can make. It's choosing to live by faith, walk in trust, and grieve in your peace amidst the chaos. If today you choose to make God's presence your daily refuge, write in the comments, "I want to dwell with you, Lord," and bless someone by sending this prayer. Beloved Lord, there are days when the faith doesn't burn like fire, but flickers like a spark barely resisting the wind. Days when the soul is exhausted, the prayer feels like a lost whisper, and the silence weighs more than 1,000 words. But even in those moments, when everything in me wants to give up, I choose to believe. Because true faith is not a fleeting emotion. It's a constant decision. It's looking up to heaven when everything feels dark and still saying, "I trust you."
It's continuing to walk when there are no signs. It's praying when there is no immediate answer. It's worshiping when the soul is weeping. David went through that too. In Psalm 61, he doesn't speak from triumphant faith, but from a faith that wrestles, that cries out from the edge, that holds on to what it knows of God more than what it feels in the moment. That is the faith that moves mountains, not the one that shouts loudly, but the one that remains standing when everything is shaking. Father, I don't want to depend on my emotions. I want to depend on your truth. Help me remember that you don't love me more when I'm strong, nor less when I'm weak. Your love is constant. And in that love, I take refuge today, even if my faith is small, even if my strength is gone, because a spark in your hands can ignite an eternal fire. If your faith feels weak today, write in the comments, Lord, even if my faith is small, I trust in you. And may this prayer reach the heart of someone who needs it most. Lord, today I choose to remember, because when faith falters, memory becomes an anchor. I remember the times I was at the edge and didn't fall, the nights I cried without comfort and woke up with new strength, the days I thought I wouldn't make it, and somehow I did. It wasn't luck, it was you. It was you who held me when I couldn't walk. It was you who spoke in the middle of chaos. It was you who opened the way when everything was closed. And if you did it before, you will do it again. Because you do not change. You do not grow tired. You do not forget. You are the same God yesterday, today, and forever. David said, "You have been my refuge." He didn't say it from theory. He said it from experience. And I can say it too. You have been my refuge, my strong tower, my support in the storm. That's why, even if I don't understand, even if I can't see clearly, even if the path is uncertain, I will trust in what I know. You are faithful. Thank you, Lord, because your faithfulness doesn't depend on how I feel, because your presence doesn't leave when I'm struggling. Thank you because even in the desert, you are still my spring. If today you remember a time when God sustained you, write in the comments, "Thank you, Lord, because you are always there."